This topic keeps coming up.
I love that. While we were getting ready to while we were setting, let me correct that. While you were setting everything up, we had like an hour-long conversation about this, and it amazes me because I feel like I can still talk about like new things about this.
Yeah. Because it's stupid. Let me just get this out of the way. This whole idea of having a gender-swapped Link is stupid. And I don't understand why there's so many fans that are pushing for this. So what inspired us to talk about this today? Well, since Breath of the Wild is right around the corner, and this is probably going to happen every single time there's going to be a new major Zelda release, but Eiji Aonuma, who has been working on Zelda games since Ocarina of Time, and he's pretty much like the series, he runs the series now. He was asked about, different questions about Zelda, the, storylines, characters, also what fans ask for when it comes to Zelda. And he's quoted as saying, "The opinions that resonate most with me, I definitely take them into account when the time comes to create the next Zelda." And this part's kind of funny because it's a backhanded compliment that he pulls off pretty well. "If you listen to them all, you'll end up with, well, I have no idea what kind of game you'd end up with, but it probably wouldn't be a very good one. So we have to follow our own vision really, and not pay too much mind to speculation." And then, of course, he's asked about the female version of Link. And he responds with, "On the Wii U, there's already Hyrule Warriors. In that you've got Princess Zelda herself as a playable character, and a real assortment of playable characters, including numerous female ones. So that title exists already. But in the future, regarding doing that sort of thing again, and changing what you expect from Zelda characters, I'd say yes, it's a possibility." And, I don't get it. I don't... If you're a fan of Zelda, and you want to see a female Link, why? The series is fine with him being male only. He has always been a guy. I know he's an empty vessel. I know he's the avatar that you play as, so you can kind of project your own thoughts and your own, persona onto him. And that's what he's designed to be. He's designed to just not have a personality, so you can put your own onto him. But that being said, he always goes on an adventure. And I know we're going to get into gender issues, and I don't care if it makes you mad, or if you have this strange view out there that, boys and girls are exactly the same, because they're not.
Trigger warning. We already started talking about this, so we're late anyway.
Yeah.
So
if you're triggered and you've clicked out of the video by now, fine. But okay, boys, when they are young, and if you're a boy, you will understand what I'm talking about. You like adventurous things. It's one of the reasons why more males play video games than females. Is the number of female gamers rising? Yes. Do we think it's a good thing? Absolutely. I think the more people that play video games, the better. I think if you play video games, that's actually a sign of... that's a sign of intelligence, because you have to keep your mind active, and it keeps your mind active. It keeps your mind sharp. I've recently been told, I didn't even realize this, but I've seen articles popping up here and there about people in their 80s streaming games. That's awesome. That is so cool.
I kind of want to see that now.
And that's probably part of the appeal. What? Wait a second. This 80-something-year-old man plays an MMORPG. Oh, I gotta check this out. It's stuff like that that's awesome. having more females play games, even if they're games like Zelda or like Overwatch, which has several strong female characters, no one is upset over that. No one is giving that game any grief. Or Pokemon, which has been traditionally, with the exception I think of the very first generation, you can pick the gender of your trainer because you're supposed to name the trainer pretty much after yourself. That is a straight up avatar. Link has had a name since Zelda 2. And he's male. It's kind of like making Mario into a female. The other thing is the series has a strong female protagonist in Zelda.
They have multiple.
Yes. Zelda has been a strong character since, I would argue, A Link to the Past, the third Zelda game that they ever released. She had magic powers. Was she kind of a damsel in distress? Yes, that's kind of a thing. I don't know if you've noticed. I was telling you earlier, like I read an article about this one father who does not want his daughter playing Super Mario Run because he's legitimately upset that the plot of the game is Princess Peach has been kidnapped by Bowser. And he's completely aware of Mario games being about that.
That's the reason why there are games. Like, without Bowser stealing Peach, there's
no
a
game.
Yeah, there's nothing to do.
The only thing you're doing is you're running around, just hopping on turtles and mushroom-looking like things and growing with.
You'd just be killing wildlife for the sake of killing wildlife, which is wrong.
Unless it's a puzzle-based game, games typically require, at the very least, a very basic story. It's nice to have a narrative to push you along. If you make Link into a girl, that changes several things. First of all, have you seen who Link goes up against? He goes up against Ganondorf, sometimes transformed into Ganon. You have to be really tough to do that. I'm not saying that there aren't tough girls out there, and I'm not saying that, you might be a tom girl that, feels very drawn to the same thing that guys or boys of your age are drawn to. We don't need a character. We don't need the ability to pick the gender of Link. No one wants a male version of Samus. No one wants a male version of Lara Croft. Like, they are those
that already exists.
A male version of Lara Croft?
Yeah.
No, there's a cosplayer. Or are you talking about Nathan Drake?
Nathan Drake.
Okay.
He's basically Lara Croft.
But that being said, his inspiration came more from Indiana Jones, especially with his personality type. Like, he's definitely an everyman.
Yeah. They're both different, and how they were brought up to be treasure hunters is different. But when you get to it, they're both treasure hunters.
But they're not the same character.
Exactly.
They're very different. It's kind of like Hyrule Warriors came out, and like Aonuma said, you had Linkle in that game. I don't have a problem with Linkle. I don't, because she's obviously her own character. Like, she's a new character. I wish she had a different name because Linkle just sounds stupid.
Just honestly, I'd feel like Link could still be used.
Oh, for either male or female?
Yeah.
And probably, and if they did that for Metroid with Samus, you could name a guy Samus because...
Yeah, because I know a girl who is named Link. And she does have a middle name, and her middle name does sound more feminine. She prefers to be called Link. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
That's your name.
Linkle rhymes with sprinkle and dinkle and tinkle.
Honestly,
it's just a bad...
And Tinkle's a creep. So, okay, first off, that name, not Tinkle, Linkle, hate that name. The character,
fine.
Really dumb.
Oh, you think that she's dumb as
I don't like the way she attacks.
With the crossbows?
Yeah. I think it's an interesting if she was her own character and wasn't supposed to be a female Link, I would be completely okay with that.
Well, that's the other thing. When you gender swap, it's like the easiest way to like copy paste a character. Oh, it's the same character. They're just female now, or they're just male now. It's like, how about you just make an original character that is the gender of the character you want to make? Again, I keep coming back to, like, I'm trying to make this, I really try to make stuff like this work in my head and be like, okay, why is this a good idea? And I can't come up with any ideas other than fans want it. And fans want it for no particular reason other than, wouldn't it be cool if they were like a female Link?
Like, some people want it because they're gross. Some people want it because they feel
I wouldn't even get into that.
Yeah. Some people want it because it's just, like, with everything happening in, like, recent years, they want it to, like, oh, we need a strong female character. We should be able to play as Girl Link in these games to show that they're a strong character and can also fight evil monsters. First off, Zelda has done that multiple times. Not only in Hyrule Warriors, but in Twilight Princess. She was a dope character.
Yeah.
That was also, like, I think that's the only game she's had a sword.
You're probably...
Other than Hyrule Warriors, I think that's the only game where she's had a sword and she's used it. She also has her light bow and her light arrows, which she uses multiple times. So she knows how to fight. She's not a complete and total damsel in distress. That being said, she is not physically capable to keep up with Ganon. And
but her magic is.
Yeah, she could do that, but Ganon also has magic and also has physical strength.
Yeah.
So she can fight and she can probably stick her ground. She's not going to win in the end. She needs help, which just come in Link.
By the way, Link also needs help
exactly
in defeating Ganon. There's like hardly been a game where it is strictly Ganon versus Link, mano a mano. Link comes out on top. That's only happened the only two games I can think of off the top of my head are Zelda 1 and A Link to the Past. With a Link with Ocarina of Time, you fight Ganon. You have Navi, a fairy, helping you alongside Zelda. And speaking of Ocarina of Time, Zelda as Sheik. Spoiler alert for a nearly 20-year-old game now, but what have you. Zelda as Sheik, one of the coolest Zelda characters in the franchise history. Period. I don't know how many people in Smash Brothers main Sheik, and it probably happened just because they thought Sheik was such a cool character to begin with. So there's that. Wind Waker, final battle with Ganondorf. It's both Link and Zelda fighting. Twilight Princess, same exact thing. Link and Zelda fighting Ganon. Like, I could keep going on.
Yeah. And also Impa in a few games. Like, sometimes she's, like you said this earlier, sometimes she's like a big, like, caring woman who's clearly supposed to be like a maid or something. And in some games, she's this giant, tall Amazonian warrior ninja. And in Hyrule Warriors, her sword is like bigger than her. And I'm sure it weighs more than her.
Yeah, and she's already tall in that game.
Yeah, and she's just swinging around like no one's business. Like, oh well.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not that the game is lacking in strong female characters.
Absolutely not.
So the only other option is like people just want it because
reasons.
Yeah. Not even like if you can give a good reason on why Link should also be female. Like you said, like I can't think of one. And Link has been such a stapled character, and not only his own history, but in Nintendo. Like, why all of a sudden change it? Just because, like, our like things in our world are changing. Like, there's no reason why that should change.
Right.
And it doesn't it can't possibly. I don't know. I can see things in like plot being like you have to change things in the plot to make it make sense if you do that. Like game wise, I'm sure it would be, I guess, similar. I don't know.
Plus, well, it kind of messes with the timeline because Link and Zelda are always like basically reincarnations of previous Links and Zelda, whereas Ganondorf is the same person all the time. So that would be kind of weird that now instead of like all of a sudden for no reason whatsoever, we've had a dozen Links, but this one is female.
Yeah. And it's like games that have been like around for as long as The Legend of Zelda, like do you want them to have?
Also, how about this? Smash Brothers. We have 2 Links already. We have regular Link, which is like the Twilight Princess / Skyward Sword. Adult Link is known as Link. The cel-shaded version of Link, or the Kid Link sometimes, is referred to as Toon Link. That's never sat well with me that he's called Toon Link. Like, I feel much better calling him like Wind Waker Link. I know Wind Waker's not the only... That's not the only Link that appears that way, or some people used to call him, I think, Cat-Eyed Link. My point is, we have enough Links as it is, enough versions, different versions of Link as it is. What are you gonna call the female version of Link? Are you gonna call it Linkle?
No,
I would hope not.
No.
It's just a stupid idea, and
No.
I cannot understand why so many people are asking for it.
Also, if we really do want to go down this route and like we need a strong female character for like other Nintendo games, they tried that with the Mario series actually, with making Peach the main protagonist. She didn't save Mario. That game, which you could argue like
Super Princess
helps,
Peach.
Yeah, that like helps is like, oh, Peach is like a strong, independent woman, and she like fights her own battle. She doesn't need a man to help her. I don't know how to tell you this, but her power is the power of PMS.
It's emotions.
Yeah, that's literally her power, is to just switch emotions in an instant.
Oh, people complain about that too. Even though Princess Peach is a girly girl. Like, that is who she is. It's basically like, and people complain about that, it's basically like saying, Kratos, I want you to stop being the murderous, God Slayer that you are. I want to see a softer side of you. No. That's who Kratos is.
We don't even get, like, in the new game that's coming out, he's a father, yes. And you could argue that, like, he's a little bit more gentle with the kid than he would be with, like, anyone else. He still yells at him like he's a soldier.
Yeah.
He is not treating him like a child. He is treating him like a warrior, which for Spartans, like 13, I think, no, like 10 years old that's when you started training to be a Spartan. So his son is around the same age as like some young Spartan soldiers. So yeah, he's not changing for anyone.
No.
He's gonna be a brutal god slayer. And to his child, he's gonna start him off small with a troll.
Yeah. So just to kind of bring things around full circle, in general, like, changing characters, the change has to make sense. Making Link into a female character or giving the option for Link to be female just doesn't make sense.
No, it's never happened, and there's no reason to start it now. If you want to play a female character, go and play a game where you can be one or the other that's been around for a while.
Yeah. Or play Tomb Raider. Or Metroid.
Or Metroid.
Or plenty of other games.